Hi, everyone. How are you guys doing today? All right. So my name is Brittany Cavness. I worked at the Marble Falls Public Library for, it'll be 4 years in June. Today we are going to be going through an introductory course to online research and the different types of research you can do and what kind of resources are available to you. So before we get started, I do have another class coming up in May. It's going to be on the 9th. It's going to be an introduction to Microsoft Word. So make sure you sign up for that. I have that here. Or you can sign up at the circulation desk or by calling the library at 830-693-3023. So I also have a sheet of suggestions over on that table. Let me know what kind of technology courses you'd like to see in the future. I want y'all's feedback because that really helps me out as a presenter and know what kind of classes to offer. I have also done something a little bit different on your tables. You notice that there are 2 sheets of paper for everyone. One is a technology class evaluation form. Make sure you fill those out before you leave. That helps me as a presenter make sure that the information I'm giving you guys is helpful and that I'm presenting it in a way that facilitates learning for you guys. Now, kind of a couple of the topics we're going to be talking about today are going to include how you can prepare and plan for any type of online research, what kind of databases are available and what a database is, how you can access those for free through your library, how you can search for particular types of information, how you can eliminate irrelevant search results by either broadening your search or even narrowing it down. We are also going to go over some helpful databases that will get you started on your research. Most of the resources I'm going to be talking about are free through your library's website, and I'm going to show you guys how you can get to those from home. I am going to talk about a couple of other free resources that are outside the library, but most of them are going to be through the TechShare database. So let's go ahead and start by what you can use online research for. So you can use it for academic purposes if you're writing an academic paper or a thesis, a dissertation, any kind of academic project. You can also use it for genealogy if you're looking up family history or even histories of specific people. And the last one will be personal projects. So if you just want to learn a little bit more about a specific topic, you can go into a kind of online research mode with that. So let's go ahead and start with what you can kind of do before you get started with your research. You always have to have a game plan because depending on the type of research you're doing, it may be very involved. So a couple of things you need to keep in mind is you need to know what kind of information you're researching for, know how and where you can get the best types of information, and make sure you give yourself time to research. Rome was not built in a day, and sometimes you get a lot of information that you have to go through when you're researching. So you need to make sure you give yourself time to do the research and then time to go through the results that you have at the end of it. So what exactly is a research database? Now, a research database compiles data from multiple sources into one place. So you can think of Google as a database. It has all kinds of different websites and information pulled from different sources, but you can search directly through Google and it pops up all that different information. So a research database is the same thing. It's that most of the time it's going to give you information that has been combed through academic personnel. You're going to make sure that you get credible information from these sources. That way you don't have to go through stuff like you would go through on Google, where you have to make sure that the website is being updated, that it's unbiased. So let's go ahead and get everyone started with the TechShare database. Now, what the TechShare database is a huge research database that covers a wide variety of topics. I'm actually going to get out of my presentation and show you guys how you can get to that through the library's website. And I have actually provided TechShare logins and passwords on each one of your desks so you can take those home with you. That will let you access the TextShare database from home for free. All right, so the first step to get to that is going to be by going to the library's website, which is just called marblefallslibrary.org. So that'll be the first place you go. That's going to take you to our home page. And then you're going to click on the tab that says e-services. And that's actually going to pop up a list of all of the free online services that we offer through our library system. And so once that list is populated, it's going to pop up a whole bunch of buttons for the different types of services. There we go. And so you're just going to click on the one that has the picture of Texas on it, the TextShare database. And on those little password cards I gave you, it'll have that same picture. So just make sure you match that. If you lose these passwords, of course you can give the library a call with your library card and we can get you a new one. But if you hover over the TextShare databases button, it actually gives you that login and password. I'm going to go ahead and type in that password that's on y'all's tables. And so that username is capital RMN1056. And that password is going to be capital TX78611. And like I said, that's written down on those passwords for you. So I'm going to go ahead and log in and kind of show you what the TextShare database looks like. So you can see already that there are dozens of resources on here, and it's a lot to look through at the top. But if you scroll down to the bottom here, you can actually see everything categorized by subject. And so you have all kinds of different things with books and literature, health and medicine, do-it-yourself resources. So you can kind of look for specific topics, and it's going to show you all the resources available for that topic. Let's go ahead and go back to the presentation and talk a little bit about how you can perform a basic search. All right. So once again, you want to make sure that you're going to plan what kind of strategy you're going to go into your research with. So it's important to pick out either keywords or kind of main ideas for the topic you're researching. So let's say you are researching a family member, let's say Bill Jones, who lived in Mississippi during the 1920s. So the main idea you would pull from that is, of course, going to be the name, Bill Jones. And you're going to look for that specific time frame, and you're going to look for Mississippi. So those would be the main ideas for that topic. To make sure when you're searching, if you're going to use more than one word to type into the search box, you can actually use synonyms. So usually with synonyms, depending on cultural reasons or different places that you live, some things that mean the same thing are worded a little bit different. So let's say you were researching violence in the workplace. You could either put violence in the workplace or you could type in violence on the job. They're going to be the same topic, just worded a little bit differently. And a great area that you can look for synonyms is, of course, you can look through a thesaurus. And so if you can't find, if you can't think of synonyms for a particular topic or a word, you can always come through a thesaurus to give you a couple of ideas. So the next thing is I'm going to go back to the TextShare database, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what a research database looks like. All right. So I'm going to go back to the TextShare database. I'm going to scroll up to the top, and I am just going to select Academic Search Complete. So this is what a research database is going to look like. You're going to have that main search bar in the middle of your screen where you can type in your keywords for your search. It's going to give you a whole bunch of different options at the top. Every research database is also going to provide you with a help section, which tells you how to operate a specific database. And that's actually going to give you some help on some of the topics I'm discussing today as well. So if you need a refresher, you can always go to the help section on a research database. All right. So let's talk about something called Boolean operators. So Boolean operators are just a fancy word for 3 words that you use when you are going through a database. So those words are going to be and, or not. So you can start with one search term. If you would like to add more, you need to make sure you use these and you're familiar with what they are. So let's say you're researching a topic on Martin Luther, the religious figure. You would make sure you would start with the word Martin, and between Luther, you would put the word and in all capital letters. Now what this does is during the search, it makes sure that Martin Luther is not going to be kept separate. So if you just searched Martin Luther, you would pop up search results with just the word Martin and search results with just the word Luther. And that's going to give you a lot of stuff that you weren't looking for, and you're going to have to sort through a lot of results. But if you put that and in between them, that's going to group those 2 words together. The next one is going to be the word or. So the or connects 2 or more search terms. So obviously Martin Luther was a religious figure during the Protestant Reformation. So logically, if you type in Martin Luther, you're going to get information on just him. But if you type in information also about the Protestant Reformation, you're probably going to get some information about Martin Luther. So if you put the word or in between those 2 fields, that's going to not just pull search results about Martin Luther specifically, but it's also going to give you articles and results about the Protestant Reformation, which can give you more results at the end. The last word is going to be the word not. Just a reminder, all capitals again. The word not sounds a lot how it sounds. It's going to exclude words from your search results. So this is a really good example. We have Martin Luther, but we also have Martin Luther King. So we're only looking for Martin Luther, the religious figure. So we would make sure that we put the word not in between those 2 terms, so it eliminates any search results for Martin Luther King. All right, so let's talk about phrase searching. This is a specific type of way to narrow down the search results that you're going to get. So let's say, for example, you are researching capital gain tax or the Human Genome Project. You want to make sure that you have those words in parentheses so it knows in the search box to not separate those words out. If you did not put parentheses around those, that would pull up results for the word capital, the word gain, and the word tax. So that's going to give you a lot of irrelevant search results. That's also going to give you results for just the word human, just the word genome, and just the word project. So make sure you put quotation marks around your phrase. All right, so let's talk about advanced search options. So every database is going to have areas that you can apply filters to so you can make sure to narrow down your search if you get too many results. So on the Texture database, let me go ahead and show you where it's going to be located. It's actually really easy to get to. All you have to do is scroll down on the page and all of your advanced search options are there. You can also click on this button that says Advanced Search. And every database is going to be a little bit different, but it will always have an advanced search button. So, some of the filters that you can apply to an advanced search are going to be year, the type of publication you're looking for, so you can select just newspapers or just books, just scholarly reviewed articles. You can also make sure that you only get full text articles. Now what this means is you are going to pull back results that let you read an entire article or an entire document, because sometimes on research databases, people only post a portion of what they write. So that makes sure you get the entire work in its whole self. So, subject terms are a great way for you to, if you can't think of keywords for your search, they're a great way to help you get started. So if you go back to the database, everyone is going to have a button where it says subject terms. So this is kind of like a glossary for your research database. So let me show you where you can see that here. If you go right up to the top, it'll just say subject terms. So let me show you what that looks like. So it's going to pull up a list of all kinds of different words, keywords, that the database pulls articles into. So let's say you wanted to look for an article about a cappella singing. We would click on that, and it's actually going to give you some subcategories that narrow down your search even more. So let's say you were searching the Civil War. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of different areas to cover for that topic, but if you found in the subject terms that category for Civil War, it's going to provide those subcategories for you to narrow down the topic you're looking for. So let's go back to the presentation. Now that we have talked about subject terms, we are going to move on to a couple of quick tips that you can use for any type of online search. So it's important that you read multiple articles, even if they appear to have the same information, because some articles may start off with the different categories of ice cream: vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and then it goes into the different ways you can make ice cream. Another article, once again, starts with the types of ice cream: vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, but then goes into different types, including gluten-free ice cream. So articles may look like they have the same information, but make sure you just kind of scroll down to the end, because you can miss some really good stuff. It's also important to use the community. Most research databases are going to have areas where you can look for frequently asked questions, or you can look on message boards where other people who are doing research give tips to other researchers. So that's always a good way to connect with other people during your search. If you find information written by an author you like, or a source that has given you really good information for your search, you can actually look at the sources they use to create their article, which will in turn give you similar information. So let me kind of show you where you can find the sources that an author used for their article. So let's go back to TextShare. We'll go ahead and move up here. And I'm just going to go back to the database's home page, and I am going to type in Martin and Luther. All right. So that is, you see how it groups together Martin and Luther instead of separating them? That's why you want to make sure you have that and in between. So let's go ahead and just select an article. All right, so right here under where it says source, that is going to be the sources that this author used to create this specific work. So it actually gives you an option to click on that source. It looks like this might be a magazine or a series of journals, and that's going to provide you with another source to look through that might have similar information. So let's also kind of take you through what these search results kind of look like, kind of the format that you get when you click on a result. So obviously it's going to give you the title right here. It's going to tell you who wrote the article. It's going to tell you what kind of document it is and what kind of subjects it talks about. So remember when we were talking about subject terms, if you click on an article that you think is going to give you good information, you can click on these other subject terms to broaden your search. And so it's going to give you a little summary about the article right down here. And you see it actually lets you get the PDF full text, which means you can read this entire work. So let's go back to our presentation. And let's talk about some free online resources that are going to be outside of the library. So the 3 big research resources I want to talk about today are all free. The first one's going to be directory or open access journals. So this is the website, and I'm going to kind of show you guys what it looks like. I'm just going to click on this little URL. And so this is a research database that provides information on medical topics, topics like science, technology, biology, and chemistry. And so you can see it has that generic search box. It also gives you an advanced search option, and it gives you different types of things you can look at throughout the website. Subject terms right up here. So it does look a little bit different, but it is going to have those same foundations that any research database has. We're done with that one. Let's talk a little bit about Google Books. So books.google.com. So let's go ahead and go over there and see what that looks like. This is going to give you a Google search bar, which we're all familiar with, but you can actually view a whole bunch of different full copy books for free through Google Books. And so a lot of the classics are on there. Let's try Where the Fern Grows. So we're just going to type that in. All right. And so I'm going to go right here to Google Books. And that's going to load the cover and everything. And you can see right up here, it gives you the full 255-page book. So you can read that through Google Books for free. All right. The last one I want to talk about is Google Scholar. So Google Scholar is going to provide that familiar Google search bar as well. But this is going to be an academic website where all of the information within the database has been reviewed and it is credible. It's going to be, you can use it for different types of academic papers because it's all been reviewed by academic sources. So let's just type in the word medicine. It's going to give you that familiar Google layout that you have. So you just click on a result when you find one, and that's going to take you directly to the website and give you a full layout of the different articles and things that are available there. But all of the things that are listed on Google Scholar are going to be they're going to be looked at beforehand to weed out any irrelevant or uncredible or unupdated sources. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to some databases that you can access through the library. So I don't know if any of you know this, but you can actually access Ancestry.com for free when you're inside any of the Burnett County libraries. So that includes us, Burnett, and Bertram. So you can either come in with your own device, your own computer, phone, tablet, or you can use one of our computers and you can access that database for free. We have an account, so you will be able to use that without paying a subscription. I am going to go ahead and show you some of the different libraries, as well as Ancestry themselves, have already posted video tutorials online that you can use to help you start searching. And they're going to be available through youtube.com. That's youtube.com. So I'm going to kind of show you how you can get to that. So we're just going to go to that website. And in the search box up at the top, when it pops up, we are just going to type in Ancestry.com Library Edition. You can see public libraries around the world have posted their own video tutorials that teach you how you can perform a basic search and an advanced search. That's a really good resource. I'm also quickly going to show you guys how you can access my video tutorials on youtube.com. So in this same search box up at the top, I am just going to type in Marble Falls Library. And so we are the first option that pops up. So you can click on that. And we post author programs, we post podcasts, we post video tutorials. So you can actually view all the videos we've posted. And we are going to post all of our technology classes from now on in this format, so you can view them from home. So even if you can't make it to a class, you'll have the information. And even if you are in the class, you can review the information at a later time. Let's close some of these. All right. So now that we have talked about Ancestry.com and YouTube, which is a great place for any type of tutorial, let's talk about some specific databases provided through the TechShare database. So let's start with one on health. There is a database source on the TechShare database called Health Source Consumer Edition. Now what this is, it provides full text articles from magazines, health pamphlets, and health reference books over a wide variety of medical topics, and it's designed for the patient, not the doctor. So the language is going to be a little bit easier to understand. So we have topics like diabetes, children's health, women's health, nutrition, fitness, aging, all kinds of different medical topics. And so that is a wonderful resource for any patient. The next couple ones we're going to be talking about are going to be the Hobbies and Crafts Reference Center and the Home Improvement Reference Center. So I love the Hobbies and Crafts Reference Center because it offers you how-to instructions on any type of hobby you can think of. Stamp collecting, building model ships, crocheting, knitting, woodworking. It just encompasses so many different things, and I have found some really amazing information and started a couple hobbies of my own because of this. And the next one I'm going to talk about is the Home Improvement Reference Center. And so that provides how-tos on how to do home repairs and improvements, obviously. So it has articles on plumbing, grouting, roofing, how to install solar panels. So it's got some really good information on there. Let's talk about a couple of legal resources that you have for free through your library. We have a database called Gale Legal Forms, and this is all going to be under the Legal tab at the bottom of the TechShare databases. They're all organized by subject, and so this provides a wide range of medical or legal forms that you can print off directly from your computer over divorce, bankruptcy, contracts, wills, and it also offers you a dictionary of legal definitions explained in layman's terms. So it's going to be a lot easier for non-legal workers to understand. The next one is going to be the Legal Information Reference Center. This provides instructions and legal advice on different types of topics. It's going to offer tools, other resources that you can go to, and suggestions for these different topics. All right, so let's talk about an educational database. So the ERIC database, or the Education Resource Information Center, is an academic database, and it has nearly 750,000 full-text documents, including articles, journals, books, anything you can think of. And this is all an academic database that you can search. And so all of those documents go back to 1966. All right, and so the last couple I want to talk about, these I'm really actually excited to talk about today because I love these. I use these personally. Newspaper Source Plus gives you access to different articles, full text newspapers, newswires, and news magazines, including some of the big names. And you can actually view all of those newspapers for free without having to pay for the paper. And of course, you can search for specific articles and topics as well. And so the last one is opposing viewpoints and context. So this is a really interesting database because it provides different resources for hot topic issues, immigration, marijuana, politics, all types of different topics, but it provides you with a pro and a con section. So it provides you with different types of arguments for those viewpoints. And it pulls information from different sources such as the New York Times, American Scientist, Education Week. They have some really cool stuff on there, and it's really interesting to look through those. All right, well, like I said, I'm glad everyone was able to make it today. You are able to take those TechShare passes with you today so you can access that from home. Make sure you fill out the technology evaluations. That helps me as a presenter. Make sure I am presenting good information for you guys and that it's going to be presented in a way that is helpful for you and will let you learn it. In October, I'm going to be starting a series going over the different types of online services that the library offers, starting with RB Digital. Feel free to approach me after class with any extra questions. I'm here in the library Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Once again, my name's Brittany, and thank you so much for coming.